The experience of sailing down the River Thames and up the River Medway aboard a 70-year-old steam-powered cargo vessel is not one many of us will have. So you're welcome to join Shipping TV aboard VIC96 on the 21st of September 2015 as she makes the voyage. This first instalment takes place in the engine room as engineers Jim and Julian light up and build steam before sailing. We make no apologies for the level of detail that we're showing.
Shipping TV, explaining the world of ships, shipping and the sea to people around the world.
Welcome aboard this really rather fine little steamship, the VIC96. We're here at Hermitage Community Moorings in London's Wapping. It used to be a pretty tough part of the town, but it's very modern, it's very smart, very clean and tidy now. But you can still see quite old working craft here. There's several craft on these moorings around 100 or more years old. Some newer, but not many. And Vic sits very nicely amongst them. Today, the 20th of September 2015, we're here with Shipping TV to travel down the Thames and back up the Medway to Chatham with VIC96. Peter's the skipper today, and you'll get to meet the rest of the crew. We'll hopefully have a nice trip with no rain and a bit of fair weather. We're kicking off from here at about 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'll see you then. It's 0440 on Monday, the 21st of September, and we're alongside at the Hermitage Community Moorings, just off Wapping High Street, and just downstream from St Catherine's, just downstream from Tower Bridge. And the boys are down below, getting the boiler ready to burn, so we'll pop down and have a little look at them. What an hour of the day. It's actually very nice. It's calm, entirely quiet. The City of London is getting ready for the morning, with people snoring away, I hope. Morning, Joe.
Morning, Chris.
What's it like down there?
Hot.
Hot?
Always hot.
Excellent. I wish I brought my sleeping bag down there. There are two engineers on duty to light up this morning, Jim Hatfield and Julian Swift. They've got the boiler firebox prepared and a small fire alight at each of the two stoke holes, and we'll watch them build this into a proper blaze and prepare the engine before sailing from the pontoon.
We've just light a small fire at the front.
Yeah.
We've already covered the bars with coal.
Right.
And then what happens is that we build the fire up at the front, and it just works its way back to the other side of the fire in probably 20 minutes or so. And we'll have a roaring fire, probably less than that. You can hear it hitting the other side of the wall.
If you get a nice big one done in each door here, you can then push it across the grate, set the coal on the other side.
Designed this actual boiler. This was Cochrane's first boiler. It's called it a donkey boiler.
Yeah.
And or the first proper boiler he built. And it was in the 80s.
It's 5:10 a.m. It's not a time of the day I see too often, but the boiler is just singing away. In 10 or 15 minutes, the water will actually be starting to boil. The big thing with a boiler like this is that you need time to generate the heat and also time to generate the pressure.
Never-ending job, Jim.
Yeah, keeping it lubricated is important, and some of the team, they've had experience of engines where things have locked up, particularly on traction engines, where you haven't been keeping it lubricated, and it breaks. If we were doing this daily, commercially, it would probably be a lot more economical with the oil. But because we're doing this once in a blue moon, the oil is not the material cost in running the thing.
Right.
So we probably over-oil massively compared with the commercial world. You talk to Ian Woolett, our chief engineer.
He'd say don't do it every hour, wouldn't he? So,
Oh yes, he just sort of throws a couple of drops at it. But then he's got the experience that we haven't of years and years at sea, knowing how little you can get away with.
If we've got drifters on the slide, which they drip in there, we've just discovered that there's one missing today. At some point, either someone's taken it off or...
More likely it's fallen off the bilge below the engine, and we didn't know it. I've actually taken the car up to the top of Digley Beacon and getting on to work there. Right, the boiler is a Cochrane. It's about 15 feet high and 7 feet 6 inches diameter. It's a vertical fire tube boiler with the firebox at low level. There's a combustion chamber up the front of the boiler, and there's 147 tubes, about 2 1/4 inches diameter, come back through the water to the funnel uptake. It produces steam. Well, it has a grate of about 6 feet diameter with 2 fire holes, and it produces steam at 120 pounds per square inch. Right, the steam goes to the engine at 120 pounds per square inch. It's then controlled by the main steam valve here, which is variously known as a stop valve or a manoeuvring valve or a regulator. And it then goes into the high pressure valve chest, that's piston valve, that takes steam at close to boiler pressure if you've got it wide open, or less if you're going at half speed. So it comes in at over 100 pounds per square inch into the high pressure steam chest, goes through the high pressure cylinder and exhausts at about 15 pounds per square inch into the low pressure steam chest. It then goes through the low pressure cylinder and exhausts into the condenser at a vacuum of about 20 inches of mercury, which is roughly 10 pounds per square inch below atmospheric. So effectively, when you're running full ahead, you've got a pressure drop in this cylinder of 100 pounds per square inch, a pressure drop in that cylinder of 25 pounds per square inch. The low pressure has a piston area 4 times the high pressure cylinder. Therefore, if all things were equal, which they never are, both big ends would be doing about the same amount of work at those pressures. Now, the engine produces, it's all 120s, 120 pounds per square inch boiler pressure, 120 revs per minute the engine runs at, and it produces about 120 shaft horsepower. It's not massively powerful, but it's steady, it'll go forever.
That's not to get him onto thermodynamics when you're actually...
I think
you want that sort of explanation.
I'm sorry, I think it might probably fade away if you've got them thermodynamics.
Another half an hour, we're up to 50 down up there.
What you missed out on, Chris, Julian in the coal bunkers yesterday, trimming the coal. If you If you think of the Titanic sinking, they had about 300 engine room staff. A lot of them were trimmers and firemen. Trimmers were there in the big ships to get the coal from the bunkers away from the boilers to the boilers. But what Julie did in the bunker, shoveling the coal so we can get it at these shovel plates.
If you would like a complete explanation of VIC96's whole steam and engine installation, Jim Hatfield kindly gave us a full rundown, and the video of this will be online soon.
You hear the steam just going through the steam. And in due course, because with a steam engine you have to wait all the time. Nothing happens instantly.
Sure.
You've got to wait for the fluids and the gases to get through. So I've opened the main engine steam valve at the moment, and in due course, there's a little bit of heat at the moment on this. This will be so hot you wouldn't go near it once it's going.
Because that's the main steam pipe.
That's the main steam pipe into the steam space in the high pressure piston valve.
Right.
It's an inside admission valve, so the steam goes into the middle. When the valve goes up, it opens steam into the top of the cylinder. When the valve goes down, it opens steam into the bottom of the cylinder, and the top piston then clears the valve so the exhaust comes out.
The engine has to be warmed through before attempting to run, so steam is run through it, and the condensate and steam comes out through drain cocks. Once the cylinders and pipes are warm enough, Jim can rock the engine back and forth gently before allowing it to turn over slowly.
Vacuum will go up because they're leaking air into the system. But that is the condensed steam being pumped back into the boiler, lifting the little valve, the clack valve. It's called a clack valve because of its noise.
Because it clacks.
Yeah. Ah, the captain's awake. Well done. 6:15 now.
We had a slight run.
Yeah.
Would you just slide away from here and that's
Okay, well I'm ready when you are.
That's the plan.
I'm going to continue warming it through. I'll just keep it ticking over. I've had a look under the stern
Yeah.
to make sure there's no ropes hanging around.
Yeah.
But I think, yell if you're unhappy with the moorings, but I won't do any astern because we've got...
Well, no, the
yeah.
moorings are okay. They've suffered
Yeah.
this all weekend. It's,
Okay, yeah.
so
6:25.
well, the idea is we were from here round to Chatham Maritime Basin, number 1 basin, leaving here just after high water London Bridge, so we'll just slip away without any very quietly, stealth like, and then make our way and hopefully be at Southend for low water, and then we'll have a young flood in through Sheerness up to the basin, the one bait or the lock in, and then hopefully tie up.
What time will you be alongside, do you think?
Hopefully around about 3 o'clock this afternoon. I've been told by the engineers that everything's warmed up down there, and basically ready to go.
We're ready to go.
We're just waiting for the tide, waiting for Mother Nature really to just ease back a bit more, and then we'll start going. There's no hurry.